Good evening. The meeting of the Tomball ISD Board of Trustees is called to order on June 17th, 2025 at 7:52 p.m. Central Time. For the record, a quorum of the board is present. I would add that Mr. White is not present this evening. He had a previously scheduled family event, and with this being kind of a non-standard cadence for us, we are wishing he and his family a great time off. All other attendees are in attendance tonight. The meeting is being recorded in accordance with Government Code Section 551.128. We have been and gathered here in the John P. Neubauer Administration Building on Cherry Street, and we would like to welcome those in attendance tonight and those viewing online. Board members have received items related to tonight's agenda and have had the opportunity in the workshop meeting that we held previously this evening to ask questions of the superintendent related to those agenda items. Items on the agenda for tonight's meeting may not be handled in the order of the agenda. Additionally, if the board determines at any point during the meeting that it needs to convene in an executive session, the board will do so in accordance with sections 551.071 through 551.084 of the Texas Government Code. This evening, opening remarks will be provided by Mrs. Salem, pledges by Mr. Lewandowski, and mission statement by Mrs. Bass. At this time, Mrs. Salem, I turn the meeting over to you.
I'm going to say a prayer for my opening comments, so if you'd like to stand and bow your head. Dear Lord, thank you so much for this day, and just thank you for allowing us all to be here tonight. And we just ask you to grant us wisdom to make wise choices. And just as we have all, as the school year has ended, please put your arms of protection around everyone as they go on to their some fun summer activities, and just help them to refresh and come back renewed for the next school year. And we just thank you for all the blessings that you give us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Please join me in the pledge to both flags, starting with the American flag. Honor the Texas flag. Texas, one state.
The Tomball ISD mission statement is, Tomball ISD empowers students to become impactful, contributing citizens by providing innovative, individually rigorous, and personally valuable educational experiences while partnering with the community.
Mrs. Salem, Mr. Lewandowski, Ms. Bass, thank you very much. As we step forward into our agenda, we have no one that has signed up for public comments on agenda items.
Correct.
And so we're going to get right to it and get to the consent agenda. Item A on the consent agenda, approve budget amendments and revised projected balances for major funds. Do I have a motion regarding the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. McStravick, seconded by Mr. Lewandowski. Do any board members have any additional questions of the superintendent regarding this item before I open up the floor for discussion? Hearing none, is there any discussion by the board for the board? Hearing none, a motion has been made and has been seconded to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Motion carries unanimously. Moving into the considered agenda, item A, approve the 2025-2026 salary and benefits book. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mrs. Salem, seconded by Mr. McStravick. Do any board members have any additional questions of the superintendent regarding this item before I open the floor for discussion?
I'll just say again, thank you for the red line.
Absolutely.
Any discussion by the board for the board? Okay, a motion has been made and it has been seconded. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Motion carries unanimously. Item B, approve a general pay increase of 2% for all support staff of the midpoint value in the district pay schedules as adopted in the salary and benefits book for the 2025-2026 fiscal year. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Lewandowski, seconded by Mrs. Salem. Do any board members have additional questions of the superintendent regarding this item before I open the floor for discussion? Hearing none, is there any discussion by the board for the board? Hearing none, a motion has been made and it has been seconded. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Motion carries unanimously. Item C, approve a general pay increase of 1% for all administrative staff of the midpoint value in the district pay schedules as adopted in the salary and benefits book for 2025-2026 fiscal year. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
A motion was made by Mr. McStravick and seconded by Mrs. Bass. Do any board members have additional questions of the superintendent regarding this item before I open the floor for discussion? Hearing none? Oh, we do have discussion.
Is the salary and benefits book available for the public to view?
No, ma'am.
Okay, any other questions of the superintendent? Okay, any discussion by the board for the board?
So I'm just going to chime in here. We've done this is the third item. So Martha, again, thank you to you and your team for the work that's been done. Most recently, after the legislative session, had some clarity provided to it. You know, we've had an opportunity, we've talked about this for several years now, having passed deficit budgets, but being prepared to do that.
Correct.
So I'm glad to see we are now at a position to where we can get to a balanced budget. I do wish that we could do more for our employees, but I think we have shown over the past 3, 4, 10 years that we are committed to our employees in the district, Team Tomball.
Yes, sir.
This year, we need to be able to hit that balanced budget. We've had 2 years that haven't been, and we've offered nice raises at that point. In fact, 1 year was actually exceptional raises across the
Absolutely.
district.
Yes, sir.
Doing that with funds that we had been saving in order to get us through those difficult times of the legislature. So anyways, again, I appreciate you and your team's work on this. I feel very comfortable that we're at a balanced budget based on what the revenues that we're going to be able to achieve from the state. Do wish we could do more, but I think we've shown in the past, when you look at it, at our commitment to our employees, to Team Tomball, we've shown that we are in support of them, and we will be in the future.
Thank you so much. And I do want to again thank our CFO, Zach Bowles, and the entire finance team that works through this, and the foresight of Mr. Ross over the years to get us to a place where we did have what we needed to get us through the last 2 years. The entire district worked, our admin team worked on this budget to get it to be a balanced budget. It was not easy. I don't want anybody to think that this just happened. It was countless meetings, a lot of discussion, a lot of angst, I'll say a lot of prayer, and we are grateful to be here. Do I wish that the increase was more? Absolutely. Do I think that we can do that in the future? Absolutely. Maybe not this year, potentially, but definitely as we move forward, I would hope. So I'm grateful to be at a balanced budget tonight. That is, I understand that's very important.
Well, and while it's not as much as what we'd like to give, I hope the staff knows that their contribution to our students in this district is priceless, and they are very much valued and appreciated. And we wished that we could do lots more than what we're doing tonight, but at least we can do a little. So hopefully it'll help some.
Thank you.
You know, I'll just add on Certainly, it is our responsibility as a board to continue to advocate for the adequacy of funding. What we saw the House and the Senate provide, frankly, was appreciated but not adequate. We recognize that since 2019, the cost of living, inflation, has gone significantly high. I know I made 3 trips to Austin over the course of the last, 6 months, advocating on behalf for adequate funding. No slight to the funding that was provided in this $8.5 billion that went to public education. We weren't focused on vouchers. That's a different swim lane. We're going to execute public education here in Tomball ISD the best that we possibly can is how I approach what we're doing each and every day. But it is incumbent upon us as a board, the superintendent as well, to continue to advocate for what our needs are and why we are able to vote for a 2% and likely a 1% here. We need to continue to advocate for fair and appropriate compensation for teachers and staff. And so that will continue to be a theme that I would like to pursue as we continue to refine our advocacy platform. Any other discussion by the board for the board? A motion has been made and it has been seconded. All those in favor of item C, please signify by raising your hand. Motion carries unanimously. Item D, adopt the 2025-2026 budget in the amounts proposed by fund and function for the general fund. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
A motion was made by Mrs. Salem, seconded by Mr. McStravick. Do any board members have additional questions of the superintendent regarding this item before I open the floor for discussion?
I'd just like to say thank you for all the hard work that they put into this budget. I know it wasn't easy getting it to a balanced budget, but appreciate the effort and the hard work that we got to this number.
Thank you, Tina.
Okay, any discussion by the board for the board? A motion has been made and it has been seconded. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Motion carries unanimously. Item E, adopt the 2025-2026 budget in the amounts proposed by fund and function for the food service fund. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
A motion was made by Mrs. Bass, seconded by Mrs. Salem. Do any board members have additional questions of the superintendent regarding this item before I open the floor for discussion? Hearing none, is there any discussion by the board for the board? A motion has been made and it has been seconded. All those in favor of item E, please signify by raising your hand. Motion carries unanimously. Item F, adopt the 2025-2026 budget in the amounts proposed by fund and function for the debt service fund. Do I have a motion?
Second.
A motion was made by Mr. McStravick, seconded by Mrs. Bass. Do any board members have additional questions of the superintendent regarding this item before I open the floor for discussion? Hearing none, any discussion by the board for the board? A motion has been made and it has been seconded. All those in favor of item F, please signify by raising your hand. Motion carries unanimously. Item G, approve the release of $1,289,300 from the CTE restricted funds for the 2025-2026 school year. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
A motion was made by Mr. McStravick, seconded by Mrs. Salem. Do any board members have additional questions of the superintendent regarding this item before I open up the floor for discussion? Hearing none, any discussion by the board for the board? A motion has been made and it has been seconded. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Motion carries unanimously. Item H, approve the release of $975,000 from committed funds to initiate Phase 2 of Exceeding Excellence 2030. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
A motion was made by Mrs. Bass and seconded by Mr. McStravick. Do any board members have any additional items of the superintendent regarding this item before I open the floor for discussion? Hearing none, any
So-
discussion? Okay, I got one, Ms. Cracky.
Is this coming from the budget year that we're just wrapping up? Or is it coming from the next year's budget?
This is from the year in which we've just completed,
Okay.
correct?
Because our fiscal year ends
Right.
June
So we're-
30th, correct? Or is it?
Yeah, so this is coming from a portion of what you closed out, or we're closing out for 24, 25, and then but you're releasing directly from the committed fund balances that you
For the
already
future.
approved by the board specifically for the strategic plan. So when the year ends, the funding goes back to committed, and then you re-release for each subsequent year.
Okay, thank you, Zach.
It's already built into the current year budget.
Only what was initially released
Okay.
for 24, 25. So for 25, 26, you're releasing a new set of funds.
Okay, we're on item H.
Still within the total amount of 4 million that was approved for the strategic plan.
Yes, sir.
It's all within the same amount, it's just releasing it to be able to be spent in that budget year.
Like a draw from it.
Okay.
But
I
which
still
the-
don't feel like I have a great handle on what this piece, I saw the memo. I was confused by Great Expectations. I thought that was something we already had in place. I don't really understand how that's a strategic plan, I'm sorry.
So, well, just to try to help you understand, Great Expectations is ongoing, it's fluid. And so we started with a small number and it's grown. As you heard, we're actually a model school in every area. As we bring campuses online, we continue to train them in summer training, so we'll have Summer Institute. The difference also, though, is that we continue with the training model, the coaches that come through Great Expectation to monitor and to assist the campuses and campus admin. And so the amount is lower. We don't have as many going through the training at this point because we've done this for a number of years. But also that sustainability piece with the Great Expectation coaching, as was explained sometime back in a presentation.
Yeah, we approved in a contract last meeting.
Yes.
Is this the same money, or is this two separate
It's the same contract,
outlays?
but the money is allocated through strategic plan because it is part of our character development as part of the strategic plan. It's not an additional contract, if that's what you're asking. It's one contract with Great Expectations. This is the funding source for that contract.
So will some of this 975 cover the item that we approved 2 weeks ago that was related to Great Expectations?
Yes. Want to add anything? Okay, that's,
Yes, the answer is yes.
yes.
Okay, any other questions for the superintendent? Hearing none, is there any discussion by the board for the board on this item? We're on item H. Hearing none, a motion has been made and it has been seconded. All those in favor of item H, please signify by raising your hand. Motion carries unanimously. Okay, item I, approve the addendum to the interlocal agreement with Harris County Precinct 4 Constable's Office to include an additional school resource officer at West Intermediate School for the 2025-2026 school year. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
A motion was made by Mr. Lewandowski, seconded by Mrs. Salem. Do any board members have additional questions of the superintendent regarding this item before I open up the floor for discussion? Okay, hearing none, any discussion by the board for the board? A motion has been made and it has been seconded. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Motion carries unanimously. Okay, that concludes the consent agenda vote as well as the considered agenda vote. At this time, we do not have anyone that has signed up for public comments on non-agenda items, and we do not have subjects to discuss in closed session. And so with that, fellow board members, we'll proceed with any board comments as we move towards adjournment of this regular meeting. I open up the floor to my colleagues. Martha, unanimous votes, general fund, debt service fund, food service fund. Congratulations on putting forth a balanced budget on all three of those. That's a big deal. We talked about it quite a bit here. You knew my vote would likely be if it was a deficit budget, so I really appreciate the hard work that went from a deficit of 13 million to 9 million to 3 and then 0. I think our community in this day and age and this time appreciates that. Similar to John's and Mark's and others' comments, I'd love to see how the legislative dollars finally kind of settle, and if there's more there as that we could do towards a teacher salary or a support staff or administrators, I'm going to be the first to raise my hand to say let's work on an amendment to support that because 87% of our budget is focused on salary, and I recognize that cost of inflation since 2019 is what it is. It's painful. People are making tough life decisions, and I do not want to see anyone leave our district for financial reasons. And so I'm hopeful that we can continue to find ways to fund pay increases as we go. But thank you for putting together a proposal for a balanced budget. You obviously had great support here tonight, but by the board to support that. And so it just doesn't happen. And so great job.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pratt. We collectively appreciate that and the board's support and votes tonight. Looking forward to an exciting year ahead.
Okay. Any other comments by any other board members? Hearing none, is there a motion for adjournment?
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Lewandowski, seconded by Mrs. Salem. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. The time is now 8:15 p.m. Central. This meeting is adjourned.
As it turns out, things have changed.